Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
This is the Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about their money, their profession, and their relationships. And we're so glad you've joined us alongside the fabulous, incomparable, and very fit Jade Warshaw, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ken Coleman. Good to be with you. Guns out today.
Thank you. I thought when you said fit, I thought you meant like swagged out.
Well, you take it to what it means.
I'll take it.
I just know that you're on Instagram talking about your workout. I know you're working out. You got a trainer, and you show up today with the sleeveless sweater vest, and it needs to be called out because you're pulling it off well.
Thank you. It's a little collegiate vibe.
Yeah. I on the other hand, I'm going to be doing push-ups in between segments just to get a little extra pump.
Listen, you didn't hear it from me, but Ken Coleman's got a tricep. I'm telling you.
Just one. A single tricep. It's very exciting. 888-825-5225 is the phone number. You can tell we like being together because we enjoy coaching people. And so Jay's going to help you keep the money. I'm going to help you make some money. That's our combo tag team today. We start off with Carmen in Tampa, Florida. Carmen, how can we help?
Hi, I have a difficult decision to make, and I wanted to see if I could get some advice.
You can.
It's a financial decision. So about 4 years ago, I helped my brother go through, I helped him move into my home, never charged him anything, and I helped him get a car under my credit that he pays. My financial situation has changed a lot since, and we went from being a family that was making over $400,000 a year to half of that this year because my husband made a change in careers that will end up paying off, and it will be a life-changing move, but for now it is not. Mm-hmm. We had to move, and now we want to purchase a home. But when we went through the process of getting approved, the person that went through our debt said, you need to get rid of this debt and pay it off, amongst others. And I went to my brother. Right now, he's fully recovered. It's been 4 years. He has stocks. He has CDs. He has a full retirement. He makes commissions and is living a good life. And he basically said, no, I'm not going to take that upon my credit, and I'm not going to pay off the car. So have to make the tough decision to either pay it off myself and put it under my name and then repo it and sell it and send him whatever's left off from paying myself back. Or
you can't repo it, because if you do that, that's going to destroy your finances.
No, what I'm thinking about is paying it off.
How much is it?
It's $11,000.
Okay. Yeah.
And once it's under my name, going and having a company pick it up, because I'll be the owner of the title.
How are you going to put it under your name? How is that? Because it's his loan that you co-signed, right?
No, it's my loan. No, it's under my name fully.
Is he driving the car?
Yeah, he drives the car.
So it's under your name fully. Just take the car back and pay it off.
Now.
Well, it's causing a lot of drift in the family. My mom
It already has.
The real
Amen.
devil for just offering.
Hold on, Carmen. Did you just hear what Jade said?
The damage you're worried about being done has already been done.
Yeah.
And so for you, the best thing to say is you asked him, hey, can you pay this? You're driving the car. He said no. So then the only fair thing to do, and that's it. You're just doing what's fair. Okay, no problem. If you don't want to pay it, that's fine. But the car is in my name and I am willing to pay it. So if I'm paying it, I'm going to take it back in my possession. That is not mean, Carmen. That is not a bad sister. That is just you doing something that is very normal and fair by saying, if I'm paying for a car that's in my name, I'm going to be the one owning it and driving it.
He's delusional. Your brother's delusional, and he's manipulative.
That is definitely true, because he has the money to pay it off. But he has been making the payments monthly himself. Mm-hmm. So he's like, I want to continue to make payments monthly because I want to.
Then he needs to go rent a car. He needs to go over to Avis or Thrifty or, dollar and rent a car, because that's what he's doing. He's paying payments on something that's not in his name that he's never going to own.
What's the car worth if you were to sell it today?
So I looked up the trade-in value.
Not trade-in. I'm not interested in trade-in. That's always a bad deal, and you don't need to do that. What is the car worth, Kelly Blue Book, today if you were to sell it, private seller?
$19,000.
I would go get that car from your brother today and sell it. Instantaneously.
You only,
Well,
what?
He's always made the payments.
It doesn't matter, Carmen.
It's your freaking car.
He rented the car from you. That's what he's been doing.
It's your car. True or false?
Yes, it is under my name.
All right, Carmen, let's start all over. I know how the call started, but I want you to tell us how it started. What do you want us to tell you today? Because we told you. And now you're trying to talk. You're trying to debate us. This is your car.
Yeah, you're right.
You want to get? I know I'm right.
Because then all we say then is, okay, just let the guy keep it.
Yeah, I mean,
that's not it.
I can't do that.
Why? Okay, why? Why can't you let him continue in this current arrangement? Tell yourself.
Because I have 2 kids and they need a home.
There you go,
sweetheart. You know what you are supposed to do. You called us to say, what should I do? And we both are in agreement. You need to go over there today, no drama at all, but make it very clear. Hey, I brought this to you. You said you didn't want to pay it. I'm changing my lifestyle. Here's where we're at financially. This car is an asset. I need it, and I'm taking it. And if you don't want to play ball, I'm going to call the authorities because it's already ugly. You're being ugly about this, little bro or big bro, whatever his deal is. And I would say I'm taking the possession of the car. And then I'm going to sell it. So at which point he gets to decide. Oh, whoa, I want the car. Then you go, fine, $11,000. Thank you very much.
Yes, and then we can transfer the title.
It's worth 19, big bro, little bro. But I'll give it to you for the fabulous price of $11,000.
Oh, see, and that's too nice.
Well, but I'm trying to make it clean.
I know you are. I
don't disagree with you either if you say, well, pony up 19.
Or even 15. Come on now.
Yeah.
I liked it that Jade's negotiating with me. We're negotiating on your behalf, Carmen.
On my behalf.
Carmen.
We want you to be respected in this. And that's what it boils down to is this is a disrespectful transaction. And if you let it continue, he's not just disrespecting you, you're disrespecting yourself at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to get him on the phone.
Abuse.
It is.
I call it abuse because
I wish we could third party call him in right now because I would go, hey, dude, you're treating your sister really poorly. You're showing a real lack of responsibility and you want your cake and eat it too. She provided the cake. Now you're eating it and that stops today. So, Carmen, you know what to do. We told you exactly what to do. Now, we didn't say this was going to be fun, but as Jade pointed out just a moment ago, it's already not fun. So let's go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and take possession of the car, sell it, you pocket some cash, and now we're moving forward. Jade, final word on that.
The longer this goes on, the worse it gets. So put an end to it today and maybe you can still salvage the relationship.
Statistics show that half of Americans don't have enough life insurance, or they don't have any at all. I don't understand this, John. Why don't people want to take care of their family? They think they're going to die or something?
Well, I used to be one of those guys. I didn't even think about it. And one of my buddies said, hey, the only reason to not have life insurance is if you hate your wife and kids. And I immediately went and got term life insurance.
That's a gut punch.
And, you're telling me, and for decades, Dave, I've sat across people who've lost a spouse. They've lost somebody important to them.
Me too.
They don't know what to do next.
Me too. I mean, you're going to have a crisis here. And, you got 2 options while you're sitting and talking to a young widow. She's concerned about how she's going to invest all this money properly and not mess this up, or she's concerned how she's going to eat tomorrow.
That's exactly
These are the
right.
2 options.
And
take care of your dadgum family, man.
Term life insurance can replace income, pay off debts, cover funeral expenses, so your family can actually have the opportunity to just be sad.
Yeah.
To just miss you.
That's exactly what it's supposed to be. It's saying I love you to your family. Term life insurance. Jeff Zander and the team at Zander Insurance makes it easy and affordable. I've used them personally for 25 years. They're the only people I trust. Go to Zander.com or call 800-356-4282.
All right, let's go to Nicole, who's joining us now in Chicago. Well, Nicole was there. Okay, let me see. We're going to Jennifer, actually, in Sioux Falls. Jennifer, how can we help today?
Hello. Hi. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's going on?
I have a question. I am 50 years old. My husband has diabetes, had some medical issues in the past. I was stupid and got a whole life insurance policy that I've had about 20 years now. I did sign up for Zander Term Life. I'm waiting for paperwork back. In the meantime, I just feel like this whole life thing is cancer, and I just want to get rid of it. But I know that may not be the smartest. I'm not sure. I want to be done with it. Hopefully, this term life comes back okay, and once I get term life. But if I don't, for whatever reason, because of my age and medical issues, do I hold on to this whole life for 2 more years until we can save up enough money where we're in a good position and then just dump it? It's only a $250,000 life policy. So, but I did take a loan out on it, and I am making payments to that for $500 a month, and I just want to be done. I just want to be done.
Yeah, that's how you know it's not it. When you can take out loans on it and you're paying them back to the tune of $500 a month.
Yikes.
Yeah, wait till your term policy comes back, and once that's for sure in place, cancel this, get out of it. That's what I would do immediately.
Yeah. If it doesn't, what if I don't get my term life insurance because of I'm considered obese, but I don't see myself as obese. I'm just tall. Mm-hmm. So the calculations are totally off on that.
Who told you?
Overweight, but
BMI calculations tend to be off the way that they do it. I will say that, and I will agree with you. I don't know what I can't comment on that part of it. I will say that obviously it has the ability to increase your premium at the very, very least.
Right.
For sure. But is there anything else other than that would make you not coverable? Or are you saying you would be coverable? It might just be really expensive. What are you expecting?
I think it'll be okay. It'll just be a little bit more expensive, is my thought.
Yeah, you're only
what
50.
You're saying.
You're only 50, so. By the way, I'm 50, Jennifer, and I got news for you. You and I are young, all right?
Let's 50 is the new 40.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Which means I'm 30.
I knew there was something in it for you.
Here's the thing, though, truthfully. It doesn't, based on what she's telling us, it doesn't sound like there's any reason you wouldn't get approved. But let's talk about this further, because you are 50. Tell us more about your financials, because the goal is to be self-insured and to not be carrying these policies, in perpetuity. So what's your financial situation?
Well, I'm on baby step 2, and this is embarrassing, but I'm on baby step 2 for the 3rd time. I'm really stupid, slow learner. I haven't made financially mature.
Don't say this.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah.
I've made some really great decisions in my life. Like my boys' college, if they go to a state school, is going to be paid for.
Okay, good.
My first one doesn't graduate for 2 more years, and my second one doesn't graduate until 4 more years. So the college is good.
Good.
We have roughly $150,000 left on our house. I just sold my Navigator.
Good.
I got rid of that.
What else is left of the debt?
About $150,000 a year. My husband works for the state, so between us both, we work about $150,000. Make about $150,000 take home.
Mm-hmm. And how much debt do you have left in baby step 2?
We have $78,000 left.
And what kind of debt is that?
Paid off. Oh, it's oh my God, it's so embarrassing. A mattress loan that'll be paid off this week, actually, a trip that we paid for the school, for, like this World Classroom thing that we've been paying on for 2 years.
Okay.
But we just made the final payment on that. Credit card debt. And it's basically just credit card debt.
Have you cut up the credit cards, Jennifer?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
they're done. They're done. Yep, and we got the budget thing 2 months ago. Boy, that's a tough one. We keep changing that and changing it. I'm like, oh my God, I just want to get on top of everything. And the apps on the phone are driving me crazy.
What do you mean?
I want a flip phone again because of all the apps and the different things that come out of our account for different things.
Okay, it sounds like you need to simplify. Listen, for somebody who's on baby step 2, it is all about cutting down that budget. And what I'm getting towards, the reason I asked you that is because, I want you to get to the point to where you are entering into retirement age here in the next 15 years, and you want to be in a place where you are debt-free. You do have the house paid off, and you have built up that nest egg to where when this term runs out in 15 years, you don't have to re-up it, because that's when you could run into issues. Trying to get covered if you do have some pre-existing conditions. So that's kind of why I had you unpeel that onion a little bit, but
Yeah, it's funny. You said you were kind of sharing all the different things, and you said we have $78,000 left. It's mostly credit cards. That mattress didn't cost you that much, did it? What kind of mattress are we talking about?
No.
I was about to say that's
that
the
was
kind
like
that
3,000, 3,000 or 4,000. I can't even remember now.
Right.
But,
Yeah. You said something also that was fun, and I'm trying to encourage you on this. But the answer is not getting a flip phone. Although I think that would probably be great for the whole world. Like if every smartphone were destroyed mysteriously,
that's not a bad thing.
It would actually be great for the world. But the issue is not you getting a flip phone to deal with the apps that you're spending money on. The issue is stop spending money on all those little things and go, I'm going to rearrange my priorities right now as to what I'm spending on.
Jennifer,
and that's the key.
Jennifer, I have my spidey sense is going off, and I have a sense, Jennifer.
Ooh, I like when this happens.
Candy Crush? Is it a
boy.
No? I do not have any games.
No game. Okay.
I am so busy. Yeah, no, I actually run. I run 2 businesses. I'm busy. I am I'm hammering this stuff out, and I'm just tired. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired.
There
and
you
I
go.
keep going. Okay, we got this. We're doing this again. We're doing more. We're doing that. And I'm like, okay, I'm only going to do this as last time. I'm done. I'm going to be smarter. I'm not getting into debt again. This is so stupid.
Well,
We
it's your
sold our
husband
house
too. It's your
before and
husband
gotten out of
too.
debt.
Where does he fall in
yeah.
all this?
He's very passive, but he goes I'm more of a go-getter.
Okay.
I'm more high energy. He's more chill, but he's very loyal to his job. This is his own. He's only had 2 jobs his whole life. So he's pretty more calm and collected. We're definitely opposites.
Is he the
but he's
saver
with me.
or is he a spender?
No, he's very frugal, and unfortunately, I'm a little bit disappointed, but it's my fault too. I can't have him in control of. I
you're
wish
driving
he
the
would
spending.
Put his foot down.
You're driving the spending, and you need him to say, you need him to be strong when you're not, to be like, hey, Jennifer, we're not doing that, and you can't depend on him for that right now. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I run the show, and
I know
he
you
lets me
do.
walk all over
Jennifer,
him.
you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to say something to you, and I hope you receive this with total love.
I will.
Okay. You are a force of nature. You're a storm. And I'm not saying that.
Yeah, I am.
I'm not saying that as in like negatively. I'm just saying
You got power, girl.
I can feel you pulsating through the phone. I can feel it. And I'm going to make a suggestion from my own experience here. I think you need to slow your life down, period. And I'm going to challenge you over the next 7 days to take an inventory of your life. I want you to start with where you're spending most of your time, how that time is actually being spent. So that's work, personal, family, whatever, relaxation. I want you to do an inventory. And I think one of the reasons why you're back for the third time through baby step 2 is that you are going so fast and so furious, and you are off the seat of your pants because that's how you're wired, number one. But I think your life has gotten so intensely chaotic and fast that you don't even give yourself a chance to think about the impulse spending. And I think if you could slow your life down and slow it in the form of, how do I want my day, my week, and my month to look? I think the third time around, because you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, I think that's going to help you. I just think you're going so fast that you don't even know what's going on with your finances. I hope that encourages you.
Hey, you guys, if you're looking to save big on groceries without sacrificing quality, you've got to check out Aldi.
That's right, Rachel. Because let's be real, I'm bougie, but I'm also frugal. So
You're bougie, George.
Thank you for admitting it. So why pay more for the same stuff just because it has a fancy label? Aldi shoppers save up to 36% on a typical shopping trip over name brand products at other stores, which adds up to about $4,000 per year for a family of 4.
It's crazy. Yeah, and you know what? Their organic produce, their fresh meats, and even their private label, it's all delicious. So it's good quality stuff that's not going to bust the budget.
And the best part, no membership fees, no gimmicks, no headaches, just a simple shopping experience with the lowest prices of any national grocery store.
So beautiful. Okay, so stop paying more and start shopping at Aldi. Find a store near you today at aldi.us. That's ALDI.us.
All right, folks, investing, for those of you who haven't done it, you maybe have only heard a few things about it, it can be intimidating. There's a lot of minutia to it. You want to get somebody you trust. And there just creates a lot of emotions for people. It makes it very scary, and it doesn't have to be scary, and it doesn't have to be complicated. So whether you're a beginner or you're looking for next level strategies, the Ramsey Investing Hub, this is a fabulous, fabulous opportunity for you to kick the tires, learn what you need to learn, get really confident because of how clear you are about what you need. It's got tools and a ton of information. Go to RamseySolutions.com/investing. That's where the hub is. RamseySolutions.com/investing, or you can click in the description, the link in the description if you're listening or watching, listening on podcast or watching on YouTube. So again, the Ramsey Investment Hub, fabulous information for you.
Great.
Let's go to Jen now in Columbus, Ohio. Jen, how can we help?
Hi, thanks for taking my call. I am a single parent of a special needs child and I'm at step 3 of the baby steps, and I'm trying to create financial security for us in our future, and debating if I should have a financial advisor take over my investment and retirement account, just given the amount I take on a daily basis. And then also in the future, there's some pretty big things I'm expecting with my child.
Okay.
Tell us that first.
Yeah.
Give us the big stuff that you're thinking about that you're going to be dealing with.
Unfortunately, he has a genetic condition and will likely need a heart transplant.
Wow.
Wow.
It's a really hard reality, but I enjoy him every day.
Yeah.
It's also a possibility he may be handicapped. The genetic condition he has is incredibly rare, and we have best doctors, but that's what's falling on me. I'm the full-time caregiver.
Oh my goodness.
How old?
8.
8 years old. Okay.
Any idea what the time frame could be for that surgery?
It could be, so typically with transplants, it's either a newborn, toddler, adolescence, or adulthood. I'm kind of planning that when adolescence hits, that it may hit,
Okay.
just because puberty is rough.
Right.
Right now, he's really stable, doing great, has, a great medical team, and is more stable than he's been for a long time.
So it could be on the short side, 5 to 6 years, and it could go into young adulthood, so well past 10 years. That's a rough idea, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And is this something that you're insured for and you'll just hit your out-of-pocket max for the year? Or is this something that has the potential to have heavier financial ramifications?
Fortunately, my background before I stopped working and taking care of him was medical research. And so I have been in a clinical environment for many years. So I have Medicaid, I have a transplant fund set up. I also have an ABLE savings account, which is for disabled people. And so I do have my foot in the door for the worst case scenario to happen. Again, I'm doing everything I can, taking the best care of him in the world.
Are you working outside the home?
I'm working part-time from home, so I do make $60K a year, which is great.
Okay.
And that took, 5+ years to get to a point where I could work.
You're amazing.
You
allows
truly
me.
are.
Oh, thank you.
Does that cover all of your necessities? That gives you a little bit of margin as well?
Fortunately, before he was born, I had a good cushion with my investment fund from working for several years.
Okay.
So I was able to use that to get through hard times, and now just kind of at a point where I can think about investing in retirement, which is really exciting.
And one more question, because Jade's going to coach you through this, but I'm just curious, do you have any kind of child support from the father, or are you on your own there?
A little bit, like $500 a month. So I would rather, it's better for me to manage things. Yeah.
Okay. So first off, kudos. Like I said, you're incredible. Honestly, the whole transplant and the understanding how to prepare for that, you know more about that than I do. So very good on starting those things in place. But to talk about the investing, what we teach here is fairly simple. And I think that it's something that you'll be able to implement with the greatest of ease because you're smart as a whip. I can tell that. So it's once you get out of baby step 3, you're just going to take 15% of your gross income and you're going to put it away. Does your part-time job, I'm guessing there's no benefits there. Is there a 401k?
There isn't. I have a Roth IRA that it's not where I want it to be, but again, it's exciting to think about investment in retirement from where we've come, but it also completely overwhelms me.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going to do that myself, I forget if I previously mentioned, I have found a special needs financial planner.
Okay.
And he is capable of kind of taking that off my plate. Obviously, they charge the percentage.
What is the percentage?
Given, I think it was 1.5, and then once it gets 100,000, it decreases.
How it decreases?
Say that again?
You said once it hits, it decreases.
I think once it hits 100,000, it goes to either 1.1 or 1.2. I don't know how much of an impact that would have.
Okay. And so the biggest point then is just to make sure this is not something you're just handing over and saying, hey, do this for me. I want to make sure that you are speaking into that because we would say, that investment mix needs to be across 4 different fund types. And he might have a different idea of what that is, right? So you kind of have to have a clear point of view of what you want to accomplish. And then you guys need to work together as opposed to him saying, here's what I'm going to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because
I definitely want to understand and not just hand over the money, but
that's right.
But then if hard times hit, money's, I'm still even just trying to get on top of my budget. I want to be informed.
Yes, you want to be informed. And let's just go back to what you said right quick, because if you do this 3 to 6 months, and in your case, I would do 6 months because you've got the health issues and you're a single mom. So I would do 6 months of expenses. And that really should be a good safety net, Jen, against hard times again, because what I don't want is for you to invest this money and then at some point in life have to take it out before you're ready because of emergencies, right? So for you, I think it's going to be so important not only to have an emergency fund, but to also keep on stash whatever your out-of-pocket max is for the year, and just to have that there, because you know you're going to the doctor, you know you're hitting these deductibles, so that you're not depleting that emergency fund that's there, because emergencies are things that are unexpected, they're urgent, they're things that must be done, but the unexpectancy of it is really the key thing of an emergency fund. You know that these health issues are going on, right? So that is something that we can plan for in a sinking fund. So think of having that out-of-pocket max there as a sinking fund all the time. And each year, just know that you're replenishing whatever that is. And I don't know if you are, in a high deductible plan or not, but if you have access to an HSA, after you do that Roth IRA, an HSA would be a really great option for you, because you know you have these health expenses.
Yes.
So if I were you... Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you ask.
What are your thoughts about outsourcing to a financial planner? Like, as long as I'm informed, is that something that's kind of equivalent to me managing it on my own? Or
yeah, don't think of it as outsourcing. Think of it as something that you're working together with. And Ken just mentioned our Ramsey Investing Hub. I'd like you to go over there because you're going to start to see all the different tools that we offer. And off the bat, just for your Roth IRA, you might find that you can pick those 4 types of mutual funds, right? Growth and income, aggressive growth, and international. And you're just taking that 15% of your income and you're putting a fourth into each of those different funds. And then as it starts to grow and as you start to plan for the future, you might say, hey, I do need somebody on board to help me plan long term, especially with taxes and things like that.
Jen, you're an amazing mama bear. Keep your chin up. Keep moving forward.
Hey, technology has changed a lot in the last 30 years. Now the hot topic is AI, and I understand that it might seem intimidating. But if you use AI the right way, it's just another tool to help you work smarter and faster, like a calculator or a cordless drill. So if you run a business, you'd better get on board with it before you get left behind. And NetSuite by Oracle offers AI-powered tools that help small businesses improve efficiency and make smarter decisions by bringing all their major business processes into one platform. That way there's one source of truth for the real-time data you need to take advantage of opportunities. Then you can forecast better, scale more efficiently, and streamline those manual tasks that take too long. So join the more than 41,000 businesses, including Ramsey Solutions, that rely on NetSuite to help tackle some of their biggest challenges. And right now you can download the CFO's Guide to AI and Machine Learning at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's free at netsuite.com/Ramsey.
All right, folks, how you doing on the baby steps? I don't ask to shame you or make you feel any kind of negative emotion. Just quick check in because this is a journey. The steps are simple to understand, very, very difficult, obviously, to hustle through it. And we've got a quick quiz that will allow you to see where you are in your progress and get a personalized plan. And this is just that extra little encouragement and gives you a plan. And so all you got to do is go to the show notes, click on the link titled, Are You on Track with the Baby Steps? And complete the quiz. And I think you'll be really, really encouraged by what you get back. Anna is going to start us off now here in Chicago. Anna, how can we help?
Yes, hi. Thank you for taking my call. I'm calling with a question slash ask for an advice about the financial and the relationship aspect of my life. I am with someone for around 3 years, and we have a bit of a different approach to money. I also make almost 3 times more as he does.
Uh-oh.
So I'm trying to navigate that aspect. He's more of a spender, go with the flow type of persona. I'm more of a saver / investing type of personality. I'm 39. I have two properties. One is a rental property. I just recently bought a house. even though that we are together, we're not married, we're boyfriend, girlfriend, but the goal would be to hopefully get married at one point.
Okay, so hold on, because I know
yes.
you're leading towards a question, but I'm assuming based on what you just said that you guys are keeping your finances separate. Is that true?
That is correct. And at one point, we had a joint account where we were contributing, I would say 50-50, and all the bills were split 50-50. However,
that didn't work, did it?
It did not work, yes.
Well, you're living two different lifestyles.
Yeah,
if you're
you
making
guys-
3 times more, that's a whole different lifestyle than what he's living. So, of course, that's not going to work.
Okay, so what is your question? What can we address specifically?
Yes, so I wanted to know, how would you approach that type of discrepancy? He's a very hardworking person. He is an electrician. He makes a good income, but he's not as driven as I am. I'm in sales, so I think I am on trajectory to make more and more money. That's the goal for me, at least.
How do you define?
How do you?
Can I just ask you this question, because this will help Ken and I know what your definition is of driven and successful. Does driven to you and successful equate to dollars, or does driven and successful equate to promotion? What does that mean to you? Because that'll help us understand how you're talking about those words a little bit more going forward.
Yes, great question. And I think for me, it's more so about the lifestyle. Money, of course, I think it's going to translate ultimately into money, because then you can travel more, potentially retire early. And that's one of my goals, to retire in 10 or 11 years. That's essentially how I see it. Also, just being a go-getter, right? Trying to network, maybe since he's an electrician, get more of a side business going, where
so
he can
ownership.
All
right, okay. Here, but I got to get to this. What is your question for us? We've got a lot of detail now, and I think I know completely what's going on. I got more on that in a second. However, I want to make sure that we get your core question. What is your question?
Can we make it work?
Yes. Yes, you can make it work. I'm glad that's the question.
Me too.
Because I know that Jade and I both have opinions on how. One other super fast question, and then I'm ready to unleash. All right. How much money do you make, and how much money does he make?
I make $300,000 a year. He's around $100,000.
Okay. All right. So we got a lady who is extremely driven. I love, by the way, Jade, your question. Jade's question revealed everything that I needed to know.
Right.
And Anna, here's my take. And then Jade will come in and she'll agree, disagree, edit, clean up. This is what we do. Male perspective right here. You said that your man is a hard worker. As an electrician who doesn't own his own business, he's making $100,000 a year in a trade that is never going to go away. And you said he's a hard worker. The man's making $100,000.
That's great.
This guy is not a loser. And you didn't say he was.
He's in the top 21%.
Yeah. This guy's doing real well. Yes, he's a spender, and you're the saver. Okay. But that can be dealt with in relationally through premarital counseling and really diving in on why you do what you do, why you spend the way you spend. Understanding each other is the key word here. And then getting on the same page, which to me is also marriage, not this playing house that you guys have been playing house for 3 years. That's the first thing. Second thing is I'm a little troubled by the fact that you are in a position where in a sales role, you have no limit. And when Jade asked you the question about defining success, for you, it was go-getting, staying on the treadmill of success, which I'm that way. I get it, but not everybody's wired that way. And that's an unfair thing to expect of a spouse or a boyfriend. If he's not wired that way, that's okay. He's not a loser. He's not a lazy duffer. This guy is a good dude, hard worker. He's just not wired the way you are. And you got to be understanding of that, because that's going to end up creating tension long-term in the relationship if you expect him to act the way that you act. Now, you guys should value money the same way and have shared values and then get the behaviors on the same page. That can happen over time. Last thing, and I want to get Jade's take on this because she's paying attention. I want the female take on this. I think that you need to check yourself a little bit on what you expect of him and long term what a successful relationship looks like in light of what I just said. I think you got a little bit too much of your own personal baggage somewhere. We don't have time to unpack that, and you're kind of putting that on him. That'd be my quick take, but I'm anxious to know what you think, Jade.
I'm with Ken to an extent. I think, for you, it does equate to dollars and cents equals success, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But to Ken's point, if the goalpost is always moving, it's hard to know when did I hit it. Like, did I meet the goal? Am I ever going to be, quote, successful, right?
Yeah.
I think the problem in the relationship is for you with, you're dating this man. If for you success, if that also points to whether or not you're a leader, like if that definition filters into those areas of, is he a leader because he's not making this money? Is he considered strong? Like, right?
Yeah,
is
because he
weak
works
or is
for
he
somebody.
strong? Right? Like if it starts filtering into those areas to where you're viewing him as weaker, you're viewing him as less of a leader, I think that is going to cause problems over time. So I think your homework is to keep everything in its proper place and say this, how can I say this? To keep everything in its proper place and say, these are the goals for my life. And for me, I view this as a measure or a bar of success for me. And if somebody else doesn't meet it, it doesn't mean that they're not successful because they might have a different bar of what they view as success. And so sitting down with him and saying, hey, Biff, what do you consider to be a successful measure? Like, what does that mean for you? And then it's you being inquisitive to him and you being curious about what his definition is. And so you guys can start to learn about what that means. Because I think the breakdown would be if you start viewing him less than or as somehow weak or as somehow like not a leader.
Yeah.
If you're married to this person, that is not going to work.
That's exactly right. He doesn't. You said one little thing that concerned me. You said, I'm just, he doesn't have a side hustle or he doesn't own his own business. He doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Guy's making $100,000 as a tradesman. The bigger thing that you guys have to do is get on the same page about debt. No debt, a controlled spending budget, things like that. That can absolutely happen. But this idea that he has to have the same professional drive as you, I don't like that. And you may have a hard time finding a man that ever has your drive, sweetheart, because you got the drive. This is the Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about their money, their profession, and their relationships. Excited to have you with us. 888-825-5225 is the phone number. 888-825-5225. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by the fabulous Jade Warshaw, and we're here to help. She'll help you save and budget that money. I'm going to help you try to make some more money. Austin's up in Peoria, Illinois. And let's go to Austin. How can we help?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. So my question is, I'm 19 years old, moved away from home, currently living on my grandpa's farm, and my dad wants $2,800 a month from me.
For what?
And he does not. So basically, his dad, my grandpa, most kids turn of age when they're 18. My grandpa decided to do that for my dad when he turned 21. For me, when I turned 21.
Okay.
I'm confused. Your dad decided to do what? Your grandpa decided to do what? I'm not understanding.
Like you become adults when you're 21? Is that what you're saying instead of 18?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, but let's just go back to, why does your dad want $2,800 a month from you?
I don't know.
That's your adult tax?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, you're telling me your dad said to you in some form or fashion, you went to live with your grandfather and he said, I want $2,800 a month and you just need to send it to me, and no explanation, and you didn't ask any questions?
Yeah, I had a couple of conversations with Dad about it, but, you know.
But what?
Well, okay, so the conversations kind of went like this. You know, I asked him, I told him I didn't think it was fair. Told him that if I'm living away from home and he's not paying any of my expenses,
correct,
then he shouldn't get any of my money.
Yes, and amen. Jade, do you agree with this statement so far?
Yeah.
She's stunned. I'm going to get her a cold rag. She's completely stunned.
I'm in shock.
I don't get it either. So you said it's not fair. What did he say?
So he just said that he was offended that I even had the, how would you say it, maybe the balls.
Audacity?
I like your way of saying it. Yeah, sure. Sure.
Okay, I feel like there's a missing link here, because as you were rolling this out, you mentioned the adulthood thing. Is there a link there that you're saying, is there some sort of link? I'm trying to understand this other than to just tell your dad where he can put his opinion, which is where the sun doesn't shine. You know what I'm saying?
Is that, Jade's asking the right question. Is that basically your dad's demanding that because until you're 21, you do whatever he says?
Yeah, that's correct.
Got it.
Wow.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, well.
So, in my opinion, if I'm living under his roof, eating his food, he has the right to make whatever requirements that he wants.
No,
not really.
No. Let's just nail that down. If you were living with him now and you were making money, and you are, he could ask for rent, and that's totally fair.
Yeah.
And pay a portion of the utilities, at which point you still get to decide whether or not you want to do it or not. And then he gets to decide whether or not you get to stay. So that is a normal relationship thing. But this idea that if I lived with him, then I'd have to do whatever he says is bonkers.
What I meant by that, maybe I didn't make myself clear. What I meant by that is, if he doesn't want the living room lights on after 11 p.m.
I agree. Yeah, no, I get it.
He has a right to, lay some ground rules and conditions.
I understand
if I want to stay there, then
sure.
That's what I was trying to get to.
Okay, ground rules, yes. Demanding money from you that you make is what I was referring to.
When you don't even live there. Yeah. Austin, you're 18, is that right?
Yep, I'm currently 19.
Have you paid him any money?
Yeah.
What have you paid him?
I definitely have. $2,800 a month. Actually, last while I've been sending him $3,000 a month just to, try to.
How long have you been sending him? How long have you been sending him $3,000 a month?
About a year ago, I came up to my grandparents' farm, worked, and
no. Hey, just answer my question. It's a number. How long have you been sending him $3,000 a month?
About 4 months, and then before that, it was $2,800 a month. And then before that, he was paying for my expenses, and he got all my money.
Is there something wrong with him? Like, is there a reason? Is there a reason he can't work? Is there something?
Nope.
I'm sorry.
No, it's a legit question. I'm laughing not at your question, but because something's
wrong with this.
Something is so weird about this. So, So Austin, you've already paid him way too much. You should have never paid him a nickel.
Don't give him any more money.
Don't give him any more money. And so if you called today because you're like, this doesn't feel right, and I'm going to get two strangers' opinion on this, hear us loud and clear. Your dad is manipulating you.
Yes.
This is crazy unhealthy. There's no good way to stop doing this other than just to stop doing it. He's going to come at you. He's going to guilt you. He's going to do a lot of things. But this is a point in your life where you have got to say no more.
And you made the first right move by moving out. By going to your grandfather's house. The next right move, once you have that, here's the thing, Austin, once you have that $2,800 or that $3,000 back in your pocket, do you want to know what you can afford to do?
Yeah, I want to fly a plane. or a helicopter. So yeah.
Or get your own place, my guy. Get your own place. So you're out of this kind of. What I'm doing here is I'm kind of formulating that you guys are all kind of tangled up together is what it feels like, and you might need to get out of that.
Okay, quick question: is your grandfather for, against, or does he have no clue about this at all?
So.
Don't give me the long answer like you're a politician. Just tell me the answer. Does your grandfather know about it, yes or no?
He does know about it.
Does he approve of it or disapprove of it?
I did ask him about that a while back ago, and his answer was that he is not against Dad getting some, but not that much.
Okay, then you need to get up out. You need to roll out.
That's where I'm going.
Roll out.
Because Grandpa is not helpful.
He's not.
And now, when you make this call to your dad and go, Pop, the gravy train stops. By the way, name me. Point blank. No problem at all.
Ken Coleman on the radio said
that you were manipulating.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding you.
I figure he'll probably listen to this. So.
Good. Well, then, Dad, if you're hearing this, I got to tell you, my friend, I'd shake your hand. I'd have coffee with you. But I would tell you straight up that this is twisted. It is manipulative. It is wrong. And it is destroying, if it not has already destroyed, the relationship with your son. Stop this nonsense. Let the boy fly. Now, Austin, back to you. Jade's right. You got to get out of Grandpa's house as soon as you can. By the way, $3,000 a month is going to allow you to go get a nice apartment, my man, today.
Okay, so the thing is, Grandpa does not live on the farm. My uncle does live on the farm.
Well, that's fine. You got it. My point is, we got to go. I'm running into a break. But listen, you've got to get out on your own. You can afford it now. And move all family ties off of this deal so that the grief from your dad doesn't have a collateral damage coming from them. That's our point. Oh, my goodness. Woo!
Let's be honest, shopping for health insurance can be confusing. With high costs, complicated terms, and customer service that doesn't really serve you, most folks just pick a plan and hope for the best. See, insurance companies don't work for you, they work for themselves, meaning they love it when you overpay. So you need a guide on your team to help you make the best choices. Health Trust Financial works for you. They're not salespeople. They help you find the health insurance option that makes sense and saves you money. The fact is, health insurance is one of the biggest expenses in your budget, but most people who work with Health Trust Financial end up saving $500 a month. Imagine putting that kind of money toward the baby steps. My team has worked with them for over 20 years, and they've served thousands of people just like you. They're the only health insurance broker that's Ramsey trusted to help you. So stop throwing money away and get the health insurance that's right for you at healthtrustfinancial.com. That's healthtrustfinancial.com.
All right, let's go to Aiden in Denver, Colorado. Aiden, how can we help you? Oops, that's the wrong one. Hold on. I apologize. Happy fingers there, Jade. You got to be careful. We go. Line 5. I was quick. You like that? Aiden, we got you. How can we help?
Hey, guys. Thanks so much for taking my call. I'm a huge fan of the show.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so my fiance's parents, so my soon-to-be in-laws, recently announced at family dinner that they'd be selling off the majority of their current assets. They own about 9 rental homes, and they're planning on selling about 5 of them and investing the money into Bitcoin. I know this is a highly volatile investment, and so I guess my question is just like, how do I handle that? What's my responsibility? And, if they have some sort of Bitcoin just tanks one day, is it my responsibility to take care of them in the next coming decades? And my soon-to-be brother-in-law, he's in huge support over this. He's saying, he is He's investing the majority of his money into Bitcoin right now. He's saying, hey, I'm here for my parents. Even if things go south, like, I'm going to be taking care of them. I'm not sure that he's 100% sure of the responsibility that he's taking on by saying
It's
that.
so drastic.
Where's
Why?
your wife in this deal? Because these aren't your parents.
No, she's with me. We're kind of the black sheep of the family. We're like, guys, this is a terrible idea, and they're just, they have faith that we're a Christian family. They have faith that Bitcoin's going to multiply 10 times over.
Faith in the coin?
Well, not in the coin. We're yes.
No, they do. They do.
You said we're a Christian family and we have faith that the coin is going to go to the moon.
They do.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, that's wild.
It is.
Okay.
Well, okay, so I'll just jump in real quick, because the first thing that came to me, Jade, was you and your wife are not responsible to take care of them.
No.
If you have objected to this and have said, we think this is highly risky, and if we're right and the bad happens, and the rest of the family and all the other kids are going, go for it, mom and dad, then they're on the hook to take care of them. You're not. That's my opinion. That's an extreme opinion. However, I'm answering this, Jade, as if this were Stacy and I, and a similar situation, and if I felt like this was really risky and thus should not do it, and if it goes the way that I think it could, that is not my burden to bear, and I want to make sure that's clear. And I think if I were you, I'd have your wife take the lead on this, because they're her parents, not yours. And you're already the black sheep, and it already sounds like this decision has been made. So I got good news and bad news. The bad news is you can't stop them, and it's not your job to stop them, even if you could. The good news is you guys have made it clear to them, or you should make it super clear where you stand, draw a boundary and say, we do not agree and we are concerned for you. If this goes bad, this is not something that we're going to be in a position to bail you out. I hope you understand that. And I would also make that clear, not just to her parents, but to the other siblings. And again, your wife has to take the lead, and you are standing behind her, supporting her. That would be my take. Jade?
Yeah, Ken, exactly. I 100% second what Ken is saying. And the only other thought I had is, the good news is, well, I had two thoughts. One is, what is on fire that is making them do something so desperate? Is something going on that is causing them to just sell everything off and go into Bitcoin? I mean, what would cause somebody to do that? Then I thought the other point was, well, they're not selling everything, right? They're just putting half of the assets over there. So that's the one upside of this. And maybe you brought this up, so I'm just going to say it. And I'm not suggesting that you necessarily go over and quote a bunch of scripture. But I mean, really, scripture says to be diverse in your investments, not to put everything in one basket.
Absolutely.
So
I think part of it is that their nest egg isn't totally where they'd like it to be.
100%.
They say that they're worth $1 million right now, but they have 9 houses, and the majority of them have mortgages on them. So none of these houses are worth more than $200,000. So my thought is, this is a Hail Mary attempt at a retirement.
You nailed it. You nailed it.
So tough.
That's what this is. This is a wing and a prayer. And here's the problem with that. You wing it and the prayer doesn't get answered. Who's picking up the pieces?
Oh, it's so. Listen, I feel your pain. When you put it like that, I felt that, because that is hard to sit by and watch. Because here's the thing: what they've built is really good. Like, they've got, if they're worth $1 million now, they should be proud of that. And the fact that they could throw that away is painful to watch from the sidelines. 100%. Whew. But you can't make them. That's the hard part of this. You can suggest and say, hey, before you guys, here's your Hail Mary. Hey guys, and this is through your wife, not through you. We love you. We heard about what you're getting ready to do. It's your life, but please promise me that you'll watch this before you do it. And let's give them Financial Peace University, and let's make sure that they watch the investment segment. For sure, they don't watch nothing else. Make sure they watch that, because that's going to teach them how to diversify their investments. It's going to teach them what to do for the long haul. And at least it's not you telling them, It's, hey, I saw this thing, and, you know, this is coming from your wife, and this is how me and my husband are handling our finances. It's really working for us, and we just want you to watch this before you make any drastic moves, because it could influence the decision you make for the better. And like frame it in a positive way, because that's what they need. They don't need to be told, you're about to make a big mistake. They need to be told, hey, you guys are trying to maximize your investments. I'm on board with that. Hey, look at this, because this could be a route for you to do that. That could be even better, right? So play to that part of them that's trying to do better, instead of playing to the part of, oh, you're going to make a big mistake.
Is this thing, where does it stand right now? What's the timeline? Because I'm just gathering that this has been discussed and they're pretty much ready to roll.
Yeah, well, I'm told that they have almost, or I guess 130,000 in Bitcoin right now. But then father-in-law, he told me that he took out $50,000, I assume, on his HELOC, and has already invested into Bitcoin. So they're like, Bitcoin's about to blow up. Bitcoin's about to blow up. They're ready for it to shoot up any moment now. And so they're just putting everything they can into it while they can. So I'm assuming that they're, the next 5 years is their timeline. I'm not totally sure though.
Wow. Well, you're a good man, and I appreciate the call, but it feels like this deal's already happened. Mm-hmm. So now they're playing the prospecting game. They're watching it. When are they going to sell? Are they going to just keep investing and hope that it's high when they're ready to pull it all out? You know, at this point, I just don't think there's much you can do.
Right. Well, and that was my question for them too. Like, hey, what happens if it does blow up? Like, what's the number that we're going to get to where we decide to sell it off and put it into the S&P or something? Anything else that's less volatile.
You ever played blackjack at a casino? Yes. You ever gotten up?
Ooh, yes.
Have you, Aiden? Have you ever gotten up? You had a nice little run.
Poker's my game, but yeah.
Right. But just to be completely honest here, like I've done that, and I'm telling you, I'm sitting there and I'm going, I need to walk away.
Yeah, you can't stop now.
I just won myself, my wife a dress.
Yeah.
I won myself a nice pair of shoes. Mm-hmm. I got tonight's dinner covered. I got the first 2 nights of our steak. I mean, I've been up, and then what am I doing?
You put it in
smart move
hand.
is to do it. And I go, wow, one more hand. Let me just see if I can take this and double this. Mm-hmm. And then what happens? You ever had a rough run of cards where that frickin' dealer just keeps absolutely nailing you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my point is, this is the same psychology here, except I'm out there with just money that I've already said is just waste money, and it's fun, and I got nothing on the line.
It's not your retirement.
Yeah, this is like money I got permission from my wife. It's in my little envelope, right? You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
There's no risk on this deal for me, but I'm still getting greedy. And so that's the thing that I would be really, really concerned about. But again, this is not your call. Maybe your wife, she's got access that you don't. But even then, like Dave has said a million times, Jade, it's hard for those people who changed your diaper and raised you to listen to your salient financial advice.
Right. It's tough.
Oh, I hope it works. I really do. I got to go check Bitcoin. See what it's at right now.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. My friends, listen, I know it feels like the world is falling apart. And I know that we're all under huge pressure to perform and to look like we're keeping it all together at the same time. Here's the statistic that blew my mind. 76% of people globally agree that mental health care can help resolve personal problems, yet 6 out of 10 people still believe that society discourages people for asking for help. Here's the truth. Real bravery, real strength comes when you open up about what you're carrying, how you're hurting, and learning something you can do about it so that you can be your best for yourself and for everyone else in your life. If you're feeling the weight of the world, please talk to someone, anyone, a friend, a loved one, or yes, a therapist. I see a therapist every week. If you're thinking about trying therapy, contact my friends at BetterHelp. BetterHelp is 100% online therapy, so it's affordable and convenient for your schedule. To get started, just fill out a short online survey to get matched with a licensed therapist. And if it's not the right fit, you can switch therapists at any time easily and for no extra cost. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Ramsey Radio to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Ramsey Radio.
All right, it is time for our question of the day. Brought to you by Y Refi. Some lenders won't touch defaulted private student loans, but Y Refi was built for this exact problem. They'll explore refinancing options with a low fixed rate custom built for your situation. Visit yrefi.com/Ramsey. That's the letter Y, REFY.com/Ramsey. It may not be available in all states.
All right, today's question comes from Jared in Maryland. He says, I've seen videos on social media recently of money coaches telling people that it's better to rent as opposed to making payments on a house. With rent being completely out of reach for most people, it seems wrong to suggest covering someone else's mortgage rather than investing in our own equity and net worth. What's your take on this? Okay, so I think it just depends on the person and it depends on the situation. There is not a one-size-fits-all approach to renting or home buying because it is a direct reflection of where we are financially speaking. So it can't just say renting is bad or buying a home is good, at every turn, because that's just not the way it works. So the way I like to think about renting, Jared, is renting is buying yourself time until you're ready to buy a house. That's really what it is. I don't believe that renting long term is renting without ever the goal of buying a house. Yeah, that's not a great idea. You're going to be throwing money away long term. So that's not good. But if you're renting for a short period or even a long period until you're able to afford to buy a house the correct way, I think it's a great thing. Now let's talk about the other side of it, because a lot of people think buying a house, no matter what, get into a property, get into a house, no matter what, you got to start building wealth. That's also erroneous because, again, it's the same thing. If you cannot afford to purchase a home, you won't keep it. You'll end up foreclosing. You'll end up having to sell it. It'll end up causing you to go into further debt, right? Because you can't manage the payment. And so buying a house prematurely is also a bad move. So the best time to buy a house is when you can afford to buy a house. And so around here, and my personal experience as well, is that the best way to buy a house is when you're out of debt, because now you have the fullness of your income available and you can start to kind of frame this up in the right ratios, right? Because you don't want your home payment to be any more than 25% of your take-home pay. And if you're in debt, that could feel like, well, that's impossible. But when you're in debt, a lot of things feel impossible. So being out of debt first. Second thing is, you do need to have an emergency fund there, because let me tell you something. Ken, I see it all the time. Somebody buys a $400,000 house and can't, they buy it too soon with no emergency fund, and the AC goes out and they can't afford to fix the $4,000 AC, right? And so now they're like, on the rocks because of all of this. So you've got to be ready. So that emergency fund is so important. And then now we're doing the down payment. Now we're getting the money together to actually purchase the house. Again, trying to put anywhere between 5 to 20% down. 20% will keep you from PMI, but 5% is fine, especially if it's a first-time home buy. And now you're getting in and it's the right footing and you can actually keep the house, enjoy the house, build equity in the house the way it's supposed to happen. But this business of renting is always bad, buying is always bad, renting is always good, buying is always good, that's bananas. That's somebody who's not using critical thinking skills.
Yeah, well said. I couldn't add anything to that, so I'll just say, be careful what you're watching on social media.
Good call, Ken.
I just cannot explain to you how much the experts, when they're given financial advice, how much of their stuff is all about clicks and then selling a product.
Right.
As opposed to somebody who's an actual financial professional. So I love what you said. You got to do what's right for you in the moment, and allows you to set yourself up for the long haul. Let's go to Justin in Atlanta. Justin, how can we help?
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah. Hey, can you remove the blanket from the phone there? I can barely hear you.
Is this any better?
Not much. Maybe a little bit more volume from you.
Uh-huh.
Let's see if I can move to a better area.
Well, what you just did helps. So maybe hold that phone right on your mouth there.
All right. So I just started doing the baby steps this past month.
Okay, great.
Kind of a preemptive question for when I get there, but I do have a car payment, which will be my largest debt. So the last debt to pay off in baby step 2. It is at 0% interest though. So my question is, when I get to that last debt, should I continue to, baby step it and snowball everything into that 0% interest, or would that be time to maybe start working on the house or investing more since it isn't accruing any interest?
I thought you said you were working the baby steps.
I am. But
No.
Well, he's doing it he's Justinized it.
This is a Justinized version.
Justinized.
So, I get what you're doing. A lot of people get that. They do that, right? They look at the baby steps and go, okay.
A little tweak here.
Yeah, just tweak it, adjust it a little bit more to my liking. But the truth is, when you do that, it doesn't work right if you do that. It is a system, and a system works when you do all the steps in the system at the right time, in the right order, the right way, right? Otherwise, it's not a system anymore. So by you breaking down the system, I'm telling you right now, if you do that, it's not going to work, and it won't be our fault. It'll be because you Justinized it. So let's talk about why it works to do it the way that we would teach here and the way that we do teach here. So if you say to yourself, all right, I'm going to pay my debt to a certain point, and then I'm going to keep some of that debt around. And now, what did you say? Maybe I'm going to move over to investing. If you move over to investing and you still have debt, if an emergency comes because of your debt, let's say you, lose your job. And now all of a sudden, even though it's at 0%, you still have a car payment and it's probably pretty hefty. And now it's like, oh gosh, I need money. Now you're dipping into your investments for an emergency fund because you don't have an emergency fund. It's like, oh crap, why did I do that? Right? So all of these things, they work together. So when you pay off all of your debt, now you have the fullness of your income at your disposal, all of it. And now, how quickly could you save up 3 to 6 months of expenses? Super duper fast. It's the only thing that you're paying money towards other than your normal budget at that point. So you can do that super fast. Now that you've got that cushion, it makes sense. Okay, the next logical thing for me to do, I've got my insurance in place against debt, which is your emergency fund. Now I can go and I can invest with confidence because I know I'm not going to have to pull out this money. I know there's no rainy day that could come that could make me have to take this money out. So now you're investing with confidence, and investing early before paying off the house is so important because everybody is going to reach a day, Justin, where they can no longer work. And you're going to need actual money that you can get your hands on. You're not going to want to sell your house, right? So we start with that nest egg first so we can build it up, take advantage of compound interest over time. And that's why that's happening before we pay off the house. Now, after we've started that train going, now we can start reaching over and putting extra payments on towards the house. So do you see, that's just it's not even going super deep into it, but you can see how these things build on one another, right?
Right, yeah. I misspoke originally. I meant to say to start building the emergency fund.
Okay.
But I do understand where you're coming from, and it does make sense. I was just
getting excited.
At 0%, I was like, oh, well, I'm not losing money by keeping it longer, but it would put at risk for a worse emergency.
You're right. You're not losing money in that way of interest, but because it is still this risk that's hanging around, and because it is still putting a drain on your income on a monthly basis, it's like rip the Band-Aid off, pay that thing off so you can finally have all of your income at your disposal. And then that's going to help you to go faster in a lot of other ways. It's like a pitcher of water. If you're having to pour it across 6 different cups, it's going to take forever to fill up those 6 different cups, as opposed to if you just have to pour it into another cup, then you can fill it up fast. So that's how the debt snowball works.
Yeah, great. I love what you said earlier. if you start modifying the system, it's no longer a system. You've just created Frankenstein.
That's right. That's right.
I love that. I think the system works. If you don't like the system, you don't have to use it. But if you want to use a system that works, there it is. Appreciate the call, though. We get the question all the time. The answer's still the same.
Hey guys, I'm Jade Warshaw, and I want to talk to you for a second about student loan refinancing. Okay, if your payment and interest rate are burying you and you feel like you can't dig out, refinancing your student loan might make sense because a lower rate could help you free up more money in your budget, and a shorter term could help you pay down your debt faster. So reach out to the student loan refinancing experts today at laurelroad.com/Ramsey. There, you'll find helpful resources like a student loan rate table, a refinancing calculator, and other tools. Plus, you can get an initial rate in just a few minutes. Laurel Road offers low, competitive rates starting under 5%. You can even get your interest rate lower if you sign up for autopay. If your situation is more complex, though, sign up for a free 30-minute consultation with one of their student loan refinancing experts to get your tough questions answered. Listen, not everybody should refinance their student loan, so make sure you run the numbers, but for some people, it's the right move. Learn more at laurelroad.com/Ramsey to find out more about their student loan refinancing. That's laurelroad.com/Ramsey.
All right, if you are buying or selling your home or thinking about buying or selling, don't get stuck in the headlines and all of the TikToks and the reels on Instagram, because this is a massive decision and we want to help you. Let me just give you an idea of the latest trends based on maybe what you've heard or what you've read. The median home price did go up slightly last month to about $430,000. More homes are on the market, nearly 1 million, the highest since 2019. But in some areas, still not enough to meet the demand. The average 15-year fixed rate rose to 5.9 last month, but it's still under 6%. If you're financially ready, a small rate increase shouldn't hold you back. But if you want to learn more about the housing market trends and get some free tools to help you buy or sell with confidence, go to RamseySolutions.com/market. That's RamseySolutions.com/market. Great resource for you to get some clarity. And if I've said this once, I've said it 100,000 times. Clarity always gives you confidence. And on a big decision like a home purchase or a sale, you need clarity so that you can confidently move forward. Jesse is up now in Los Angeles, California. Jesse, how can we help?
Hi, this is exciting. I've never done this before, so I'll try to make this brief. I'm 78. I've been a widow for 5 years. I'll go back to 2009. Our house was paid for. We had a son with a traumatic brain injury who lived in that but could no longer, so we sold it. We did not know that we needed to reinvest that money. We got caught owing the IRS $96,000. We had that money, but we were told not to use that, so I took a small loan out on my house. My house would sell for about $600,000. I owe $44,000. I have one credit card that I owe $5,200 on. My income after taxes is a survivor benefit for my husband and a little of my Social Security, which after taxes is about $2,500, $2,600 a month. I have enough money to pay my bills. I don't have much left over. I drive an old Lexus that's 22 years old that has 317,000 miles on it, which I love. I don't need new things. I've lived in this house 58 years, so I'm not thinking of selling that at all. So just kind of wanted a little advice. I need to get rid of this credit card.
The one that's got 5,000 and some change on it?
Yes.
Okay. You threw a lot at us very quickly, so I want to make sure I.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
you're doing great.
Don't apologize because you know your stuff, and so that's great. Yeah. I just want to recap and make sure I understand the big picture here. So you're living in this house. You owe $44,000 on it, but it's worth six something.
Yes, it probably would be.
Okay. And then you've got one credit card for $5,000, or is there still more debt left over from the IRS?
Oh no, that's been paid off. I took a loan against my house,
Got
so the
you.
$44,000 I owe is from that.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. And so the only debt is the
Yeah.
$5,000?
Yeah.
Okay. And the income, albeit very low, it's been enough for you to live on, correct?
Well, I can pay all my bills. Yes, I don't have much left. The hard thing is like, like I had to go buy a pair of glasses and I didn't have the cash, so I put it on the credit card.
Oh, yeah.
Or if something happens to my car, I only have. Well, when we invested the money from the duplex we sold, we used all of that money, which was our 401k, on my husband's care.
Got it. So there's
that's
nothing
gone.
left. There's no nest egg left.
Just $7,000.
$7,000. Okay, that's your only savings,
And
only cash to your name.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Okay, and 78 years old. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Listen, you're smart as a whip. Like you're on it. You know your numbers. Is there anything that you could do to bring in a couple $100 extra a month?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
And it truly is a question. I'm asking you because, you know your limits and you know what you're able to do. But just talking to you, I'm like, listen, seems like it's possible.
Well, it's just, I just don't feel like I want to go out and look for a job at my age. I guess that's what I'm thinking. I was always a mom at home. We were married 55 years, and I only worked out of the house 12.
Yeah.
And that was for the school district, and I would not go back out there now. It's hectic,
I get it.
I have to say, I don't know if we're allowed to say this on program or not, but, God is my provider, and I try to be as wise as I can, although I have put things on that credit card that I really didn't need to,
I hear you.
So I think what I need to do is just, be a little bit more careful with my spending, but it's just that I go out for lunch with my friends and they automatically pay for me because they know I don't have a lot of extra money.
Sure.
So I'm glad you're telling me not to sell my house.
I'm not telling you to sell your house. Here's why.
No.
Because if we put you in a rental, it's going to be in a situation that there's a lot more variables. Now there is a situation. There could be a world where you downsize to a smaller house to free up some of this money.
If where I live, my kids live in Nevada, so I wouldn't sell my house and try to move up there because it's not cheap up there. And the city that I live in, I really don't live in Los Angeles, but anyway, that's what's the closest.
Yeah, sure.
I feel really safe where I'm at. I've lived in this house 58 years. I was 20 when I moved in. That's all I know.
Yeah.
And I feel very safe here, and I think that's important. At my age.
It is.
I
just want to give you options because right now you're in a corner. And so options are your friend here.
As I'm listening, I'm wondering if let's have some fun with this for a second. If you could snap your fingers and generate X amount of dollars every month, and that would we're not talking crazy. We're talking it would take care. It would give you a lot more breathing room financially.
$500 would change
I'm
everything.
curious, what is that number? Is it 500? Is it a little bit more than that? What's a number that if you could just manufacture it today, every month, you'd go, I got plenty of margin and I am feeling safe.
It'd be hard for me to come up with a number because I'm just so used to not having any extra money. I guess I did have a job for a while, and it was $25 an hour. I helped a lady out, took her to her errands, did things like that, but she moved away. So that,
all right, but here's the deal. You know what? I want you to give me a number. You sound like a politician on a Sunday morning show. You can give me a straight answer. You can do it. Give me a real number. Think about your finances right now and think about how tight it is.
And don't think about how you're going to make it yet.
Yeah. That's right. I'm taking you on an exercise. What's the number?
Okay. Maybe $700.
$700. All right. I
just picked that. I don't know.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, but go no. Let's go. Let's find out. Go over your budget and come up with another number after the phone call. That's fine. I'm just walking you through an exercise. Here's what happens when you're 78. And God bless you. You sound like you're 58?
58.
Okay.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. You've also outed yourself on this call that you did have a job that was right in your alley, right in your lane, taking care of an older lady, making $25 an hour. If she existed, other things like that exist. I actually think you do not have to go out and go get a job, a traditional job. But I think the non-traditional jobs, I would tell you, I bet you there's couples all around you that cannot afford daycare.
That's what I'm thinking.
And they're paying $3,000 or $4,000 a month in daycare. And if they paid you $2,000 a month, you would lose your ever-loving mind.
If you lived by me, I would pay you to be there when my kids get home from school.
They're looking for somebody who can do some light laundry, meal prepping and planning. You don't have to work like a dog. But I just think that you're not seeing that, and you need to start seeing that. And all those fried green tomatoes that you're having lunch with, they know everybody. That's all they do is talk. They know everybody and everybody's business.
You need to go on care.com.
I promise you. There's another option.
Yeah, go on care.com and you can provide those types of services for people.
I believe that you could be bringing in $1,500 to $2,500 a month very soon. And that would change your life, would it not?
Okay.
Then get after it.
Thank you so much.
Get busy.
We're rooting for you, Jesse. You got it, girl.
I'm telling you, call the fried green tomatoes and get them on the horn. They're on Facebook. They're talking to everybody. She'll have jobs coming out her ears.
Man.
This is the Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about their money, their profession, and their relationships. The phone number to jump in is 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. Alongside the incomparable Jade Warshaw, I'm Ken Coleman. Let's get right to San Bernardino, California. By the way, one of my favorite cities to recite.
It sounds like the Beach Boys. Yeah.
It's fun to say San Bernardino. It makes me feel good. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Mary is there. Mary, how can we help?
Hi, guys. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
So I've been listening to the show for a whole month, and this is my first month doing a budget.
Yay!
I my emergency fund, yes. And now I am trying to attack my debt, but I have about $9,000 sitting in collections and $10,000 in active student loan debt. This morning I got a call from a debit card collector. It's $6,000, and he was threatening to sue me. And like I said, I've been listening to the show, but I don't know if what I did was right. I just listened to an episode of Dave Ramsey telling them that, I'm going to file bankruptcy, leave me alone. And that's what I did. I was like, my financial advisor told me that I might file bankruptcy. So if I do, you'll get the call, remove me off your call list. And I hung up, but I'm really scared. I don't know if that was the right thing to do.
Good for you.
Yes, good for you.
I love it. My financial advisor.
She was like, I'm going to file bankruptcy.
That's
and then
great.
hung it up. Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've
All
never
right,
even
Jade,
met
coach
a
her up on
financial
this.
advisor.
Coach her up. Now you got another financial advisor. All right, Jade, she's a little scared, and I understand, because some punk with a credit card collection agency called her up and played the script. Talk her through it, Coach.
All right, you did the right thing. What you essentially told them is, I don't have the money that you're asking for, and I'm broke. And so if you think you're going to get that money from me, you're wrong. That's essentially what you told them, right? So now you're causing them to sweat a little bit, and you're basically saying, yeah, if you're going to sue me. And credit card companies do sometimes sue you, but it takes a long time to get to that step. So let's talk about where you are now and where we're going to prioritize this, because the $9,000 in collection, I would say, if that's your smallest debt, then that's what we're going to tackle first. And that's just us making a deal, right?
Yeah.
So how much cash do you have?
So right now, my budget is putting me at a surplus of $261 a month.
Okay, great. And there's no other savings anywhere else, right?
Well, yes, I have the baby step 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah, beyond that. Okay, so you've got baby step 1. That's good. I just want to check, the only debt is the $9,000 of collection and the $10,000 of student loans?
That's correct. And I actually paid yesterday $445 of the $9,000 in collections through a money order, and I did the tracking. Also, I listened to that advice from your show, but I don't know if I did that right. I sent a money order out to them.
That's great that you did that. I would stop doing that because at this point, I would stack up money so that you can make them an offer. Right? So they'll see, hey, you're not getting this money because I'm broke. And the next time I talk to you, it's going to be when I have $5,000. And I'm going to say, this is the only, you've been blowing me up and blowing me up and blowing me up. This is the only money I have. And you're going to make a deal with me because this debt is, 8 years old. And this is all I have. And so we're going to set up a payment and a plan that this $5,000 is going to make this paid in full today. And you're going to send me it in writing. And that's how we're going to do this. Does that make sense?
Okay, yes. So you're saying it's okay to settle, not pay in full?
Yes. That is what you do with debt and collection. You settle it because they've already sold it off. They've already sold it off for pennies on the dollar. They're never going to get the fullness of what this debt was. And so whatever they get now is just ice cream on top of a not very good brownie.
Oh, man. All of a sudden, I am hungry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's what it is.
Wow, it's true. Yeah, so, I mean, Mary, you're not a bad guy here, right?
You're just sticking up for yourself.
Yeah, you're just doing the thing, and now you you got to deal with all the negative emotions that come with this, but on the other side of this, you're free because you're already making great progress, only having been dialed in for a month, right?
Right. Yes, I am trying to be. And I've never spoken to anybody like that on the phone, so I was terrified after.
I love it. It got your blood pumping.
Yeah. Mary is probably a very sweet, kind, precious person. And she was like, who is this person? And it freaked you out a little bit.
Yes, it did.
But didn't it feel good a little bit?
Yes, it did. It actually did, because after I said remove my phone number, I don't know, something broke in the spirit, I believe. And I'm like, if another debt collector calls me right now, I'm going to see the same.
Come on.
This is great.
This is excellent.
Mary, you're my favorite person on the show today. Don't tell any of the other callers that, but that is my favorite line.
Something broke in the spirit, she said.
Yeah, that's really good. Well, hang in there, kiddo. What can we give her? What can we do for her? Let's give her something.
Let's make sure she's got, do you have every dollar, Mary?
No, I don't.
All right, we're going to give you the premium version of Every Dollar, and Every Dollar is better than ever, and it's continuing to get better than ever. So we'll make sure that you get that for free. And let's give her, hey, what are you making every month? Because you said you only have $261 in margin. So what are you making? And that'll inform my next free giveaway.
Oh.
I'm making $2,040 a month.
All right.
What do you do for a living?
So I just started my own nutrition consultant and meal prep business, which is what I went to school for and got the loan for.
Wow.
So each week I have clients and then I meal prep for them.
Wow. What a cool business. That's right up my alley. Okay, we're going to give you Build a Business You Love. That's Dave Ramsey's new book on how to build a business from scratch, which is essentially what you're doing.
And I'm going to throw in, since this is so fun, like I'm sitting next to Jade Claus over here.
That's what they call me.
That's what they call me. How about proximity principle, which is a fun little concept. It's one of my books about just the right people in the right places. And I think along with Dave's book on building a great business, the idea of making great connections, being around the right people in the right place is going to lead you to some tremendous opportunities. You grow your business because you are a small business man. Watch out.
Love that.
Mary is coming after you. So hang on the line. We want to give that to you because you're welcome to the club.
So proud of you, Mary.
Yeah, so fun. Okay.
She let the roar out.
She did. And I want to come back to you on that. When you hear that, translate that to other people who are in a very similar situation as her. Analyze what happened there and what do they need to take away from that?
I think the takeaway, that's such a good question, Ken. I think the takeaway is sometimes we limit ourselves and we kind of think, when we talk about this thing of getting out of debt and we're giving all of these pieces of advice and you should do this and do this and do this, it feels overwhelming. I can't do something like that. I can't I don't have that inside of me. And I think what Mary tapped into is she does have it inside of her. And I say all the time that you're capable of far more than you ever thought possible.
Yeah.
You really, really are. You just have to nudge it. And when you do, Ken, when you just get the right in there, you can't take it back.
Yeah.
She tapped into a piece of herself. She's never going to be able to go back to the old Mary because now
I agree.
She's like, I don't let people walk all over me anymore.
I got a Katy Perry song in my head when you started talking. I got the eye of
the tiger of fire. Yeah, that's good.
Dancing through the fire.
Man,
that's
we heard
the
Mary
song.
roar.
I got goosebumps because we heard Mary roar.
That's right.
And I thought that was great. Mary, keep on roaring out there. Hang on the line. We got some freebies, all courtesy of Jade Claus.
Ho, ho, ho.
Lois is up next in Memphis, Tennessee. Lois, how can we help?
Hi. So my question is, before we got married, my husband took out a 2-year lease on a home. And in the middle of that term, we got married, we moved in together. The lease is now up, but when he moved out of the home, he allowed his mother and brother to move into the home.
Uh-oh.
And now that the lease is up for renewal, they're asking him to extend it. And I'm telling him that I think it's not a good financial decision for our family for him to continue leasing his name. And it puts a financial obligation on us, but his mother is a widow. And so I just need some advice on kind of how to handle this situation and what would be the best thing to do.
Are the mother and brother both equally paying him?
So the mother has no income, so no payment there. And the brother has inconsistent income. He's somewhat self-employed, but he also works sometimes for my husband's company.
So they're sounds like there are some months where they don't pay or not much, and
Yes.
he covers it.
Exactly.
Oh boy! And now that tells me what's going on here. And he doesn't want to. He wants to renew because he feels like he's got to take care of them.
Yes.
Have you had this conversation with him?
Yes.
And how'd it go?
And I've even offered that his mother could move in with us. Our home is not that big, but I think it's the smartest financial decision for us to make that we can all sacrifice if we live together at this point. And she's elderly and just had a knee replacement.
What did he say to that?
He thinks that his mother won't be very happy having to give up her own space. And
But
he's
it's not
concerned
hers.
about that.
It's not her space.
It's also, yes, but she feels like she has her own space, and she won't if we make that change.
Okay,
and
but
also, I think
he's more concerned about
the brother.
how his mom is going to feel than how you're feeling. That's what I'm hearing.
He's very torn. He's very torn at this point, and so he's having difficulty making the decision. But I'm worried if he delays it, he's going to go with the easier option, which would probably be to renew, but the harder option long term.
How much does the lease cost every month?
It costs between $2,200 to $2,700 a month.
That's a big range. Why does it range?
Because the utilities are included.
Gosh, wow. Okay.
That is steep. What's y'all's combined income?
So I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I have a little bit of side money, but I don't really count that as our main source
What is
of income.
what's his income?
And his is around $200,000, but he has a significant amount of debt that takes pretty much all of his income every month.
What's the debt?
How? Okay. Wow. So what happens? Okay, what happens when the brother doesn't pay the lease? He's having to come up with the difference, correct?
Correct.
And you guys don't have the money if the debt payments are covering everything else plus your basics. So how does he make do when he has to cover the difference on the lease?
It's just month to month moving things around. To be honest, it's really tight.
But it's not. Here's the thing.
Wow.
I think I'm going to say this, and because I think it's the right thing. Your husband can't afford to help, and he's putting your family at stake and at risk financially by doing this. And so in that way, his priorities are out of balance because he's now said, I'm prioritizing brother, who is perfectly capable of going out and making money on his own. I'm prioritizing brother and my mom over me taking care of my family.
That's right.
Meaning I'm taking care of my debts, making sure there's food on my table first, so that then I maybe could reach over and help later. Does that make sense? So his priorities are out of whack. I agree with you that he's confused. Hopefully you can help him see that. The first priority here is us and our family.
What's the most you guys have had to cover in the difference between the lease payment? When he's had to step up and help out to actually cover it, what's the most? Do you have an idea?
I mean, to be honest, there's a lot of blurred lines because, like, his brother will work for his company sometimes. And so he may work for him a few days, and then he counts that as a contribution to the rent.
Oh, wow.
See, that's wacky. Okay. Jade will walk through the debt stuff, what you guys got to do, but I'm going to tell you what needs to happen today. He needs to tell Mom the jig is up. Like, this is done. And so you're moving in with us, Mom. And the reason you're moving in with us is because you can't live anywhere else.
And you can't afford it. I can't afford it.
I can't afford to do this. The brother is fine. The brother can work for him or go work for somebody else. The brother's a big boy. Mom's not going to like it. She'll get over it. She didn't have any options. But that needs to happen step one because that's going to free up some cash. True or false?
True.
Okay. So that's what you need to then attack the debt.
Yes. Yeah. What Ken is saying is exactly right. That's going to clear up the financial aspect of this. It's going to also clear up some like emotional drama because this is a month-to-month drama, it feels like. Every month it's, are they going to pay? Are they not going to pay? How much of, my work went towards the rent payment? Like, this is a lot. So doing what Ken said, I think is going to clear up, give you a lot of emotional and financial clarity there. And then it's about attacking you guys' debt. I heard you say the words his debt and his income, and it made my ears perk up. And I wondered about that. Is there anything you want to add about that?
Well, we just recently got married, and we have two very different, we came from two different backgrounds as far as our approach towards debt. And I lived a very conservative life, and so I was able to pay off pretty much everything that I owed except for the home that I live in. And he came into the marriage with a significant amount of debt before we got married.
Okay. And are you on board with viewing that as our debt and not just his moving forward?
I do view it as our debt in the marriage aspect, but it's not in my name.
Got you. And so what does that mean for you? Like, the fact that it's not in your name, how does that affect you? And how you guys pay it off?
I want to pay everything off, but I'm also a stay-at-home mom at this point, so I'm not contributing financially the way, I potentially could be.
Got it. So you're just viewing it as his money is what he's earning is what's going towards paying off this debt.
Yeah.
Okay. I got it. I do think it's worth it as you guys go forward just to change up that vocabulary a little bit. I think it's going to cause him to feel supported. I think it's going to cause you guys to feel like a unit, to really approach this as our income, our debt, our finances, and try to alleviate that individualism that I'm hearing. But you know, the way this goes, I think this, it's smallest to largest. You make minimum payments on everything, and all the extra money goes towards the smallest debt. Do you know what the method has been up to this point? Because what I don't want here, I'm saying all this, Lois, because what I don't want is, and Ken, we hear this all the time, I'm a stay-at-home mom. He makes the money. It's kind of his debt. My name's not even on it. So I'm not even in the conversation. I can chill over here. And then what happens is 15 years, 20 years later, some indication happens and you realize, oh my gosh, this debt has gotten out of control and I didn't even know about it because I haven't been dialed into our finances because I always just viewed it as his thing, right? That's what I'm trying to get. Avoid for you.
Yes, I agree. And since we just recently got married, I feel like it's taking a learning curve for us to really get on that page.
Okay.
I'm very much trying to stay dialed in and in tune and aware of what's going on, but I think he's also having to make an adjustment of how he manages things as well.
Then you're on the right track. It is.
Yeah, last thing I would say is I just think you got to sit with him and you're not an attacking person. You have a sweet spirit. I would keep that spirit. Say, hey, babe, can we talk about this? Because this is new. We just got married, trying to come together, 2 different styles, 2 different backgrounds. But I want us to win, and gosh, I really think this is what we need to do, and this is going to be tough for a season, but we'll get out of it. They got to approach it that way, see if we can relationship our way through this. All right, if you are sick and tired of scrapping by every month, living paycheck to paycheck, you need to join our free budgeting trainings this month. You'll learn step-by-step how to make a budget, stick to that budget, using every dollar. You're going to get all your biggest budgeting questions answered in the live Q&A. Sign up for free. It's absolutely free. Spots are limited, so you want to move on this. everydollar.com/webinar, everydollar.com/webinar. Amarillo, Texas is where we go now. Janice is there. Janice, how can we help?
Hi.
Hi.
I was hoping we could talk about turning our finances around in the midst of some medical issues.
Okay, give us a picture of the medical issues and what it's done to your finances.
Well, my husband's been a cancer patient for about 5 years now, and then last year I was diagnosed with a brain tumor.
Oh, no.
And so the sudden onset of the tumor caused me to have an ER visit that just seemed to escalate from there with testing, and thus having some combined medical debt between my husband and I, but the majority of it at this point is mine.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. What's the current situation that you're dealing with? What are they telling you with the tumor?
Well, I'm actually on the road to go to meet my daughter so that I can go see a neuro-oncologist in Dallas area.
Okay.
But I pulled over to the side of the road so I can make the phone call safely and have this discussion with you.
Oh, well, thank you for calling us. Okay, what has it done to your finances? Give us, I'm assuming we're talking about a big chunk of debt, and while you're giving us the rundown of debt, give us your income, your combined income, total income coming in.
Okay, so we own our home. We don't have any debt on any vehicles except for mine, which is about $9,500.
Okay.
I had a vehicle from 2006 to 2023, but the transmission was going bad, and I made the decision to get a new vehicle. I had some money in savings, so I plopped it down on it, and some of it anyways, and at that time. And now I've been paying as much as I can extra on the payments so I can get it down quicker, but I've got it down to about $9,500.
Okay.
Combined income, I would say, is somewhere around $50,000.
Okay.
Annually, and
you own your home outright?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so what do you foresee? What do you see coming up? What's the give us that picture.
I have the job I have right now. I switched to a different insurance plan because when I realized that I had this diagnosis, I was on a different insurance plan, medical insurance, that is. It was an 80/20. And I wound up owing well over $8,000 being on that plan. Mm-hmm. And so I switched over to an HSA because max out-of-pocket is $5,000, and then everything's covered. So that would be about $3,000, something less debt every year, knowing that my neurosurgeon wants me to have scans of my brain every 3 months.
Right. That was a good choice. So you know your out-of-pocket max now. And what about your husband's condition? How is his being covered? Is he on your insurance? Does he have his own insurance?
No. My husband is older than I am. He's on Medicare and Social Security.
Okay. And what's the prognosis? Are you going to be able to continue working? Tell us about your working future.
I'm not certain at this point. The most recent discussion I had with my neurosurgeon was that we were going to start radiation, that I'm going to see a neuro-oncologist. As I stated, my appointment is Monday morning. Our daughter lives in between our home and Dallas, so I'm just going to her, and then she's going to drive me the remainder of the way so, someone can be with me at the appointment.
Do you have life insurance?
Yes, both of us have life insurance.
Okay. So how can we help you today? I feel like there's a lot of tough news to deal with. But in the midst of that, financially, you're not in a bad situation. You've got a paid-for home. You don't have debt except this car that's going to be gone here in a minute. You're both working. You did the right thing with your insurance. You know your out-of-pocket max. How much do you have saved? Do you have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved?
Yes, ma'am. I have about $30,000 in savings, about $40,000 invested, and then a 401k.
So you started off the call
basic $36,000.
Okay, and so to Jade's point, you start off the call going, "Hey, we're struggling to make ends meet." Now you don't have a lot of income coming in.
No, what I'm trying to figure out is I have the medical debt I have. I was paying monthly payments on it, but they've sent it to collections. They sent 2 of the 4 bills to collections, and I'm not certain what to do there. And moving forward with my husband's medical debt, should I dip into the savings? Should I continue to save? I'm not sure what to do with the money that with the debt that's gone to collections.
How much is
as far as the medical debt?
How much medical debt total?
Payments, but I guess it wasn't enough for them because they sent it off.
How much
debt total?
Yeah, total your husband's, because we talked about your debt, but it's our debt. So we got the $9,500. We know that for the car. What is your husband's total medical debt?
My husband's total medical debt is actually much less than mine right now. It's really only about $1,000.
Okay, and how much is your medical debt? Because I thought you said you only had the car.
I have about $6,000 in medical debt that went into collections.
Okay.
So it's your
I was making payments on it every month, but I never received a letter or a phone call or anything saying that it wasn't enough of a monthly payment.
Yeah.
And before I knew it, I got a letter in the mail from one that went to collections and then another that went to
That's all right. We're here now. We're here now. You don't have to, don't beat yourself up for this. This is a lot to manage. So there's $7,000 total of medical debt. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And it's all in collections. So the good news is you're going to...
not all of it.
No, just hers.
Just yours. Just your $6,000. So what...
Mine. Two out of 4 of my bills are in collections, and what's in collections amounts to about $6,000.
Okay, so what's in collections is $6,000. What else is there that's not in collections? Tell me all of it.
Okay, there's about $1,000 of my debt that's medical debt, rather, that's not in collections.
So
and my husband has about $1,000.
Okay, so we got $8,000 total dollars of debt.
Yes.
Okay, and going forward, so let's talk about going forward first so we can prevent this from happening again, and then we'll talk about how to pay this off. So going forward, you've got the emergency fund, and I talked to a caller about this earlier today. Your emergency fund is for emergencies. Those are things that are unforeseen, right? You don't see it coming around the corner. It's unexpected. It's completely necessary, right? And you need to do it today, right? That's an emergency. But then there's things like, a medical deductible when you know that you're dealing with health issues that really do fall in line with more of a sinking fund, that I just keep this out-of-pocket max. You keep his, you keep yours, because you know you're going to hit it. You know you're going to have to pay it. Think of it as a bill that you know is coming due. And so I'm not sure I think you said yours is $3,000. I'm not sure what that looks like for him with Medicare. But if you can keep that money on hand every single year and you're saving towards it.
Every year.
What is it?
So, mine is $5,000 every year. The out-of-pocket cost before they cover anything.
Okay, and what about him? Is there...
With his, it's much worse. It's over $14,000. When he first signed up for Medicare, he signed up for just your regular Medicare, and he didn't sign up for any prescription coverage because he wasn't taking any medications or anything like that.
Got you.
Working, being self-employed.
Okay.
He didn't have the income at the time. He didn't want to purchase a plan.
So stacking up as much as you can for the two of you, knowing that this is our medical fund. Every single year is going to be so important, even if you can get $10,000 in there. And then in the meantime, I'd reach over and I'd pay off the $2,000 that are not in collections. I'd pull that out of your emergency fund, get that done because it's debt. And then the $6,000, I'd offer them $3,000 and I'd pull that out of your emergency fund too because it's debt. And that will get you out of baby step 2, back into baby step 3.
Our scripture of the day comes from Proverbs 26, verse 20. Without wood, a fire goes out, and without gossip, a quarrel dies down. Our quote from Ronald Reagan: I've always believed that a lot of the trouble in the world would disappear if we were talking to each other instead of about each other. Now, there's a novel idea. It's what we need in this world, don't we?
Love that.
Hannah is up next in Raleigh, North Carolina. Hannah, how can we help?
Hi, thank you for having me on the show.
You bet. What's going on today?
So I am looking to change careers. I want to become a financial coach, but I'm kind of having a hard time making that leap. I think it's due to some imposter syndrome. Could you give me some advice?
Sure. It's my favorite thing to talk about is the imposter syndrome. So let's start with this. Number one, you are not an imposter. An imposter, by definition, is someone who is fraudulent and taking the identity of somebody else. True or false?
That is true.
You are not an imposter. Secondly, you don't have a syndrome. You don't have a disease. You have what every person on the planet has when we consider something new. And new is always related to some type of change or challenge. And change and challenge create unknowns, correct?
Yes.
So what you have is not imposter syndrome. What you have is some fear and some good old-fashioned doubt that are tied to the unknown. And the big unknown is, if I become a financial coach, will I be good and will I be successful? Successful being helping people and actually being able to pay my bills. Am I still correct, Hannah?
Absolutely.
All right. So now we're all on the same page, and welcome to being a human being.
I know that's right.
So how do we overcome fear and doubt? The answer is we go get the unknown known, right? So we go, okay, let's go through the ones that I just laid out for you systematically together. All right. So first thing is, will I be good? Will I be able to actually coach people? And so the question becomes, if you go get training on how to be a financial coach, do you believe you have the talent, communication talent, listening skills, connecting skills with people? Do you believe you have what it takes? If you're trained on how to be a good financial coach, can you sit with somebody and actually help them? Yes or no?
Yes, I think so.
No, I don't like that answer. You blew it at the end.
Okay, yes.
Yes. I mean, you truly believe that if you're trained properly, you have all the personal skills, correct?
Yes,
okay,
I
great.
do.
All right. So next, the question is, what must be true, or what is going to have to happen for me to actually be successful at this as it relates to money? Now, this is where it gets tricky, Jade, Because to be a successful financial coach, you are going to have to learn how to prospect just like a salesperson, and you are going to have to learn how to handle the word no. And it sucks, but you have to develop tough skin. You have to hold to your guns to go, I'm worth what I'm going to charge you, and I'm going to have to take a lot of no's in order to get a few yeses. And when I help the people who say yes, they're going to eventually tell other people, and I'm going to figure this out. But that part is going to be hard. So the question is not, can you do it? The question is, are you willing to do that? And then this is the toughest part, Jade, and this is where I want to bring Jade in. Are we, if you are in a married situation, are you in a financial situation to where you can step into that prospecting starting from scratch and slowly build your pipeline to where this is a very successful business? Now, that is not about fear and doubt. That's just good old-fashioned common sense. And if you assess, Jade, well, we're not in a place in our life, or financially, we're not in a place where I can do that, then the answer is not, can I be a financial coach? It's when. So what did I leave out there? You know what it's like to deal with fear and doubt.
I do. Ken, I feel like I've said this many times on the show today, but I feel like you got it, man. I feel like you said it.
Somebody write that down, please. Write that down.
You were right. It's true. I think the biggest fears come from what we don't know and whether we're going to be able to meet the expectation we've set in our minds, right? Which is some sort of expectation of success. And that's where the fear comes from. And, only time will tell. But the good news is, here's the good news is, if you start it and you suck at it, there's one of two things that can happen. You'll get better because you'll work on it, or you'll realize this is not for you and you'll move on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm. It's a great point. And to that end, Hannah, you know what I would do? Do you know any financial coaches?
Yes, I know a few.
Have you sat down with them over tea or, lunch, or just called them up and said, hey, I want to basically do a high school level research paper interview with you and learn everything about what you do, the good, the bad, the ugly, how long it took? Have you done any of that?
I have done that with one person, but I'm aspiring to do that with more.
Great. Good. Now, when you did it with one person, what was your takeaway? What did you really feel and think post-conversation with them?
I thought that this would be something that I would be really good at. And I have a story that could reach people. But at the same time, I look at my circumstances and how they are now. My husband and I are, we're still early on in our financial journey. We're pretty young. We've lived debt-free, but we're still on the road to home ownership. I drive a vehicle that's older than I am. Like, there might be some external markers where people are like, I don't know if that person's qualified to give me advice. But we've been able to have a lot of peace and purpose and blessing in our lives. But that's not something tangibly that people look at.
I disagree.
So I feel like that's where a lot of my doubt has
I disagree. You just laid out a list of things: peace, purpose. I can't remember everything you said, but I went, that's what people are buying. They're buying your ability to not just guide them to that, but you've modeled it. So who cares how old your car is? Park it 2 blocks away from where you're meeting them.
That's also true. Plus some of the things that you were concerned about as being negatives, those are things that come with time, and you can't jump ahead towards those. I don't live in a paid-for house.
No.
It doesn't negate what I know about paying off a house or how to get there. And a lot of that is because of the people I work around as well. So, I mean, I could say, well, I don't live in a paid-for house. I can't be on the air.
But the very thing that gives you unique credibility is that you've paid off $500,000 of debt with your husband and you guys walked the walk.
But it's the unique story is what I'm getting to. And that's what she has, is you've got your unique story, and your unique story has gotten you to where you are. And the rest of the gaps you filled in with hard work, right?
Do you bring any income in right now, Hannah?
Yes, sir, I do. I actually have been an educator for the past 6 years in some form or fashion. 3 of those were spent in the classroom teaching high school math. And my daughter was born this past year, so I left the classroom, and I now work kind of like in an independent role where I piece together tutoring, and I bring in a decent income.
What do you bring in?
I bring about $2,500 in a month working part-time.
Okay.
And if that $2,500 went away, how would that impact you guys?
We are kind of transitioning now. So we're saving up to buy our first home. And when our housing cost is a lot less, we'll be able to live on just my husband's income.
Then I think timing wise, then I want you learning, getting the training, cash flowing any training, certification, stuff like that. And let's wait until we get the house situation where we want it, and then you don't need your income. I wouldn't try to do financial coaching full on. Now, if you want to get a client here or there.
Yeah, sure.
But the fact is you're bringing in $2,500 a month right now, and I would continue that because you guys will knock that goal out. And then you can move. So I think this is seasonal, although I would dip my toes in the water. I would continue to sit with other financial coaches and come up with your own best practice. Here's the best wisdom, the best knowledge. Go ahead and if you can cash flow your training, do that and be ready to go. Maybe pick up a client or two, but you're not trying to replace the $2,500 right now. Thoughts on that?
I think that's good. And truly, it's not going to take you long when you do start doing this to replace the $2,500 with coaching clients.
And also, I meant to say, a person who has taught high school math,
this is a shoe-in.
You're no imposter. You can crush being a financial coach to adults who are hungry and actually need it. You've been dealing with hooligans.
Pythagorean theorems.
Are you kidding me? The square root of pi? I don't know what I'm talking about. This is The Ramsey Show.